A resident coalition is a group of local residents who work together to address issues affecting their lives. The third step in launching a resident coalition is designing the meeting process. This includes planning out logistics, facilitation, and coordination processes. Let's start with logistics. Think about questions like, where should you hold your meetings? What type of space do you need? Think about locations that are easy for the residents on the coalition to get to, and welcoming for all types of residents. When should you hold meetings, and how often? Think about which days in the week are easiest for working residents. You'll want to avoid common conflicts, like weekly religious services or school functions. How often can individuals meet, given their current circumstances? Many groups meet monthly, but it's important to make sure this fits the needs of your local residents. What supports are needed to help residents engage? Again, you should be thinking about whether you need licensed childcare and what kind of transportation assistance is available. See the links under this video for additional logistical tips for supporting the success of a resident coalition. Next, let's look at facilitation. Facilitation is a process to help a group have good discussions and move to action. Paid staff typically take on the facilitation role to start with, but over time residents can start to take on these roles as well. Residents and staff can also facilitate together, or take turns during a meeting. One facilitation rule is to ask good questions during coalition meetings to help the group develop action steps to work towards their prioritized goals. These questions can be added right into the resident coalition meeting agendas. For example, if a resident coalition is working to improve neighborhood safety, the facilitator could ask questions like, how can we learn about what's getting in the way of neighborhood safety? Who can help with gathering this information? What can we do about these issues? What actions can we start taking, and who can help? Which local groups or organizations might we want to partner with on this? How can we learn if we're starting to make a difference? Who can help gather this information? Resident coalition meeting agendas can also give time for local organizations to ask residents for their input, or to engage residents in making decisions or setting priorities. Click the link under this video for a sample agenda. In addition to logistics and facilitation, also consider coordination processes. This involves sharing questions and strategy ideas coming up during resident coalition meetings with relevant groups and organizations in the community. For example, a resident coalition might have a question to ask the city's police department to help them problem solve how to improve neighborhood safety. Someone for the coalition could take this question to the police department, and then bring the responses to the next coalition meeting. Or maybe the resident coalition comes up with an idea to connect local disadvantaged youth with internship opportunities. Someone from the coalition could share this idea with other groups in town working on youth employment issues to make sure these efforts are coordinated. Overall, here are some additional tips for supporting effective meeting processes. Add in time for socializing. For example, many resident coalitions hold a meal at the beginning of the meeting where people can talk freely and bond with each other. Afterward, children can go to childcare in another room, and the coalition starts working on their agenda. It's common to not make it through every agenda item during a resident coalition meeting. Sometimes, topics take longer to discuss, or a resident brings in information about an urgent community need the group wants to problem solve. When this happens, don't panic. Just roll forward any items that weren't covered to the next meeting's agenda. Follow up with the residents after each meeting to remind them of any action steps they volunteered for. Facilitators often take on this role to begin with, but over time coalition members can also take turns doing follow-up. Finally, consider what skills and knowledge both staff and residents need to engage in coalition meetings and carry out action, and the best way to build these skills during and between meetings. Check out the links under this video for online tools to help with planning your meeting processes. Thanks for watching video 3 in Building a Resident Coalition series. Watch video 4 to promote sustainability so you can help the coalition activities continue over time. Find additional resources to support community change in the links below.